Hello everybody and welcome back once again to the reviews of the Aliens comic series. This is the issue 6 of July of 1991. Issue 6 of July 1991. Again, this is a British edition valued at £1.50 of the King's money. And as you can see on the title there, in space, no one can hear you scream. That was added to the later editions. This is now, like I say, issue 6. So on the front we have Aliens, and there is a familiar character on the front there. We'll go into that in a little while. Plus Predator, that was the concrete jungle story which we've already gone over. And the climax, the aliens invade Earth, and also there's an Aliens versus Predator section in these comics, which is very cool. It was on sale monthly, and it wasn't suitable for young children. Okay, so I don't recall seeing that on the others. It probably was there, but I don't recall seeing it. So yeah, these were the magazines that I used to have when I was younger. Very, very good. They had these cool comic art on the back of upcoming comics and stuff. So, Coffin, pursuing the guilty, no one is innocent, not even the NYPD. Wow. There you go. So that's the other comics that are available. So there you go. On the front cover, we've got a cool picture of a xenomorph. Very nice image there. A very rolled up xeno. And we've got the comic version of Ripley. I'll go into that in a little while, because as I've explained in the other comics, the Aliens part of these comics actually continues after the Aliens movie. So we're going to it again. I've already said it doesn't count Aliens 3. In these comic books, the story actually goes on, and Newt and Hicks survive as well. Predator 2 is the concrete jungle story. So this is Predator, but it was actually the story, some of the storyline of Predator 2 mixed in with its own storyline of this. So, which I've gone into the other comics as well. So let's open it up, let's have a little look. So there we have the context, Aliens episode 6, Predator episode 6, and Aliens vs Predator episode 6. And Dennis Bouvois was the guy that done the cover art, Martin Skidmore was the editor, Jane Hubbard was design, and Michael McKay was promotion, based on characters and situations from the 20th century Fox motion pictures. So as you saw with these stories, this was basically after Aliens, Weyland Yutani actually successfully gets a specimen, and they bring it back to Earth. Unfortunately, they lose control of it, and they lose the whole Earth as well. So Newt and Hicks have survived, and they're on Earth when it happens. So Newt Hicks and her fella, because Newt has grown up now and she's got a fella called Butler, he realised that he was actually an android unknown to himself, and he perished in the last episode from what I remember. So they managed to escape Earth. They escaped on a cargo ship. Whilst on the cargo ship, they realised that it was packed with aliens, and the ship was on an autopilot. And that's where it went to another place, another base, where there was a Marine Corps looking after a colony led by a guy called General Spears. Now, General Spears had wanted to do what Weyland Yutani have always wanted to do, and control the xenomorphs and make them into his own army. So he started using fire to threaten the Queen and threaten the xenomorphs, because he's got a queen as well. And he was burning xenomorphs in front of the Queen to show the Queen that he could kill them easily if they didn't do as they was told. So he believed that he was controlling them with fire. He branded them with numbers to make them his own personal army. And last we saw was he had infected the whole colony he was supposed to look after. He had used them all as bait for the xenomorphs in order to give them sustenance and also birth more soldiers. So he's killed his own colony, and then in the last episode he loads a cargo ship, tells his crew to meet him in the cargo area, and he kills all his crew using the ship's thrusters. because he didn't want to take any of his crew with him. He just wanted the aliens and him. So yeah, that was the last we left, and then he set off for Earth. Newt and Hicks managed to escape in a escape pod, and they managed to get back to Gateway Station, which was in Alien, if you remember Gateway Station. And the story's going from there. So there's General Spears. He's all decked out in his like Civil War gear. Got the sabre, the hat, the boots, and he's about to lead his army of Xenos. And as I said, guys, the art in these is absolutely amazing. Such good art. So there's Spears, he's landed on the planet, he's got all those Xenos with him. As I've said, he numbered the heads. You can see the numbers on the heads. That's his Xeno army. He's got the flamethrower, he's got a sword. And yeah, he's leading them into battle. We must give no quarter to others. The others are your enemies. They must be destroyed. Attack. But look, they're not going anywhere. And he says, I gave you a direct order. So I think we know where this is going, guys. So there you go. He kills one of the Xenos to try to demonstrate his power. But unfortunately, he acidizes himself. Then he starts burning the Xenos, but they all surround him. As you know, you cannot control the Xenomorphs. They are not controllable. And I think this will come to a conclusion eventually in Alien Earth as well. And there he is. The Queen is now caught up with him. The Queen that he was using to try to get her to, you know, follow his commands. And there you go. He kills, she kills General Spears. And that's finally the end of Spears. And he burns her. And that was it. They tracked Spears' ship to Earth. And then there was nothing. His revolution ended before it had a chance to begin. The alien wouldn't allow it. And there's some cool art there of General Spears and the Queen going down in a big pile of fire. So there's Gateway Station from Aliens, sorry. And there's Newt and Hicks in the cockpit. And they're still great friends and sticking together all through this. And there is a distress call from Earth, which is really cool, to the station, because the station is obviously monitoring Earth now, because Earth is totally gone. And the creatures are building some kind of nest spreading across the city and the streets. So there you go, they're building like a big colony there. And that, in these comics, is the reintroduction of Ripley. And it reminds me of another time years ago, another little girl lost on a world, swarming with the alien, swear word, I'm going to say that. And then she says Ripley, and that's a pretty cool picture of Newt there as a grown up. And there's Ripley with a super gun. I'm tired of watching, it's time to finish this. And that is when Alien Earth War starts, in the next comics. So this was very short compared to the others, this part of the Alien story in the comics. Normally they're quite long in the comics, but this is obviously a shorter one. And I think Aliens vs Predator gets a bit longer now. So then we're going to move back onto the Predator story by Mike Verheiden, Chris Warner and Chris Challoner. And this was the same thing again. As I said before, this is set in New York, not LA, as in Predator 2. Similar parts to this story as there is to Predator 2, but then this is where it gets very, very different. So this starts the same, something is taken out of the gangs, but the gangs are totally different in these comics. They aren't the Colombians and Jamaicans like they were in Predator 2. These are like street punks. Carr and Lamb are the leaders of the gangs, and they're fighting each other. And Schaefer's trying to work out who the new player is in town. And Schaefer, as in Dutch Schaefer, in this comic, it's his older brother, who's wondering where his brother's gone. And he's a cop in New York City. And so this story has the penthouse scene where they go up and find the flayed bodies. It also has the scene at the beginning where the gangs get attacked, but there's no fight with the police at the beginning. And also the other one that's similar is the subway. There's a subway battle as well in this one as well. But that's the similarities. That's pretty much where they end, other than the fact that the captain in this one, or superintendent or whatever it is a guy called McComb, and he doesn't like Schaefer, and he plays the guy sort of like the role that Robert Davi plays in Predator 2. So, and in this one, instead of being a like CIA stroke NSA team, it's not. It's the general from the original Predator movie who is playing the shady sort of character that's trying to get the Predator's technology and stuff. But this is where it differs greatly, because now the police have had to team up with the gangs, because Schaefer has killed a Predator in the comics, and he's managed to get a Predator bio helmet, and through the bio helmet, him and his partner Raushi were able to see that there's a lot of Predator ships floating over New York, and they believe there's going to be some sort of invasion. So they've teamed up with the gangs. They've emptied out the armory in the police station, and they're arming themselves for battle. So it's about to go down, and there's a good picture there of Schaefer, who's supposed to be Arnold's older brother. Very good. In this one, as I say, so far up to this point, his partner has survived, unlike in Predator 2. As in Predator 2, his partner Danny gets killed in the penthouse, doesn't he? When he goes up there at night to see if he can find any clues. Whereas in this one, it's Schaefer that goes up to the penthouse, and the Predator attacks him, and he gets thrown out the window, but he manages to get hold of a bio helmet, and that's how they get it in the comics. So yeah. So this is Schaefer trying to tough guy his way into recruiting the gangs to his cause. Some great art in these. Look at that chokehold scene. Brilliant, isn't it? And there suddenly appears a Predator. The art is amazing. And that's it. And the Predator saves him by whacking him around the head with a shotgun. And Raushi manages to save them both by blowing a Predator to smithereens. So that's it. See, as they got another bio helmet there, they've managed to obtain. And the ships are all floating above New York City, as you can see. And they start firing on the buildings. So it's kind of like an invasion story, the Predator 2, or concrete jungle story of the comics. It's brilliant. And there you go, see they're firing. And it's even a mention there, like wild, like War of the Worlds. And that's it, and that's them trying to get themselves together to regroup. So there they are, there's the gang members. Brilliant in the comics, aren't they? Proper sort of street punks, not like gang members as you see in the Sopranos and stuff like that. These are like 80s street punks, aren't they? So they're probably like evil, horrible gangsters. The kind of people that used to hang about in alleys and stuff in 80s movies. Do you remember the guys who attacked who thought they were going to attack the Terminator, didn't they? In the original Terminator. Wash day to day. Nothing clean, right? Do you remember that? No, brilliant. Then he proceeds to kill them all, dog. Nick the clothes off one and rips an organ out another, doesn't he? So there you go. And now the final battle, next issue. So there you go. The ship is hovering over the actual street. So that's quite good art, really. I do like these comics. They are great. So then we move on again to the Aliens vs Predator section. So this is Randy Stradley, Phil Norwood and Carl Story. Now this is based on the Prey book, this section, and I've read the Prey book. I really like it. Very much based on I don't know if you've seen AVP or the AVP movie. Not a lot of people like the AVP. I thought the AVP movie was very good. As I say, my only problem with those movies was that and Requiem. The Predator looked really good in Requiem. Unfortunately, it's not something you can bring near Earth without the Earth falling. So I like the fact that this version of what's AVP is set on a colony like LV-426. So it's much better. So basically the Predators, it's the same similar story. The Predators come to hunt the most dangerous prey that there is. They bring their eggs onto this planet and they infect the wildlife, which is called rhinoth. But the rhinoth are being herded back to be sold at a colony. And lo and behold, obviously, when they're herded away from the hunting area, they're taken back to this colony, and that's where it infects the entire colony. And the predators are overwhelmed by what is actually occurred. Much like the AVP movie, really, wasn't it? There's more aliens than they would have liked, I guess. So in this, they've landed, the predators, the hunt has begun, but now they've got interrupted with the human element. And in the last episode, one of the hunters got knocked unconscious by a speeding sky bike. And the humans have brought him back to the colony to study him. So it's a similar thing. It's exactly the same sort of story. A human and the last remaining predator have to fight for their lives on the planet. And there's instead of Alexa Woods like it was in the AVP movie, this is Noguchi, a female called Noguchi, and she ends up teaming up with the predator. She's like the head of the colony, like the CEO sort of thing. But then obviously throughout the story, she ends up trying to protect her people, and the predators people are already gone, you know. But yeah, then he also feels allegiance to her because she's nursed him back to health. So it's a pretty cool story, but it's good because it's not set on Earth, like I say, so it's more believable. Anything on Earth, we just would not contain that kind of creature, and Earth would fall. So there's the art with the rhinoths, which is really good. They're all sick at the moment. They're all waiting to burst. You know, so inside there's already xenomorphs that have hatched. They're waiting to come out of the nest. There's already a queen hatched already, which you can see there. And there's a rhinoth, some art of another rhinoth being born. They've now got some cocoon colony members. So that's it. So this part of the magazine moves on to Noguchi, where she is at the base. She's in her room, being woken up to say that there's been a strange creature been found out on the ranch by a rhinoth, and as you can see, it's a face hugger. So they're studying it, trying to figure out what it is. So yeah, this art now has also gone into colour now, because it was in black and white originally, which was a little bit, it wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but the colour was much better. So this is where they're discussing how the sick rhinoth have got through the quarantine, because what's basically happened is, once again through greed, one of the ranchers has basically knew something was wrong, but failed to report it just so he could sell the cattle, and that's what's happened now. So there you go. So they've gone to a burnt out house where because in the last episode the predators end up attacking like a house with a family in it, and this is where the predator got knocked unconscious. So there you go. So there's a bit there where it says holy whatever, wherever he came from, they grow them big. I think he's dead. No, he's still breathing. This is unbelievable. Let's get him into the chopper. So that's how they get him back to the base, you see. And then the other predators, they spot him leaving, and that's when they come after him to retrieve him, and probably retrieve his technology as well. So this is another house that's along the way, another ranch. So the predators are just openly attacking now, taking people out. This is a family. It's a husband trying to defend his wife and child. Mum's got taken out and the child is running. So in the comics they're portrayed as being a bit more brutal, having less mercy, and anything is considered prey. This little kid, he gets away and he makes his way back to the base. He makes his way back to the ranch, the colony. These are obviously people who have chosen to live outside the colony. And this is the guy Ackland, who's snapped the rhino through and has caused the problem in the first place. So these are, like I say, these are great art, guys, in these comics. So these are the two guys who are stuck in the currently stuck in the Queen's chamber. And she's sending more people over now to have a look at the cattle and stuff, to see what's going on board the rancher's ship. And they're obviously all going to walk into this problem, aren't they, to become more hosts. And there's the predator. He's in the medical bay. And once again we've got some people have written in, which is really good. They've got a little writing section. I do like reading these. So this is from somebody. It says, well, just after finishing Aliens issue 4, I thought I'd better send you a letter straight away to congratulate you and everyone working on this. If I may say, the best comic I've ever read. Wow. Aliens by Vera Hayden and Bovar is truly brilliant. It's dark, moody, violent. 3 elements which are not used to great effect in many of today's current comics. There you go. Predator is as good as Aliens. I really have no idea about any plans for Predator 3 or Aliens versus Predator movies. We will simply license the rights to publish these comics in Britain, so we are not really much better informed about movies than anyone else. So there you go. So they've replied to somebody there saying that these are comics that maybe they're not going to be movies, or they don't know. I must say, I've always loved horror films, and Aliens, Predator and Predator 2 are definitely among the best of all of them. So I was naturally really pleased when this magazine came out. Can you tell me though, is it true that Predator 3 is being planned? Yeah. So people are asking the question about Predator 3. So they've extended the question page, because it used to be just one. So you can buy some merch. You used to be able to buy merch. Probably can't buy it anymore. I doubt these places even exist anymore. Hard copies and t-shirts. You can buy the t-shirts, look. Brilliant. And there on the back, guys, is a potential future Terminator comic. Now based on the hit movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, out monthly, full colour, 36 pages, only 99p. Terminator issue 1, July 1991, 99p. I'm going to have to look out for them. I'm going to have to get a look on, aren't I, guys? The Terminator. Another Face Your Fear movie, that, Terminator, the original one. People always love the second Terminator movie, but I like the Face Your Fear element of the first Terminator movie. You can run and you can hide, but it's going to catch you, you know. I like those kind of movies where you've got nowhere to run and nowhere to hide element to them. like The Thing, you know, movies like that. The original Predator, where you're going to go in the jungle, you've got to face it, ain't you? And I know you're saying, yeah, well, you can keep running, can't you, from a Terminator? But yeah, how long can you keep running for? If you're running from something that doesn't need sleep, doesn't need to eat, all it's concerned with is your death. And so you're going to have to face it at some point, aren't you? And that's why I call it a face your fear movie. The Thing was the same as that. The Thing had that element, didn't it, where you're going to go in the snow. You can't go anywhere, can you? The frost, the ice is going to kill you. You know, they had no way of leaving, did they? So it was one of those ones where you're going to have to face it, and that's it. I love those movies. And that the Alien, the very first Alien, which is my favourite, you know, even though Aliens has all the action in it, I liked, like I say, the fear of the first movie. That, you know, Ripley alone had to figure out a way in the end to do what everyone else couldn't. And that was kill that creature, you know, because she was stuck on that ship. Yeah, she had the escape pod in the end, but as you say, the fear of that movie, especially with the guys in that film having limited equipment, limited capability, made it what it was, and I think it was better. So thank you for tuning in for this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for tuning in.